Good morning. It's Tuesday, November 8, 2023. I am Kimberly Ashley with the NRP Break of Day newscast. Here are the headlines. Over 11,000 Hart NSTA students to graduate. Lisa Hanna says Jamaicans are weary of the same arguments over violence. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the police force alone will not be sufficient to stem the violence in the island. Pepsi Jamaica opens new state-of-the-art plant that ups capacity by 60%. And in sports, defending Manning Cup champions Jamaica College had a winning start in the quarterfinals of the Manning Cup that got underway yesterday. The news today is brought to you courtesy of Suritsu Communications, connecting homes, connecting lives, connecting multiple platforms through convergence. Check them today by calling 876-333-1927 or 876-333-1926. Suritsu Communications, we are here to serve you better. And now the news. MP for South East St. Anne, Lisa Hanna, said she was tired of coming to Parliament to hear and say the same condemnation and express disgust over violence. The MP said Parliament in this regard was like an echo chamber, and she called for a report that was being done by a commission against violence appointed by the Prime Minister 4 years ago. The commission is headed by Professor Maureen Sams Vaughan. Ms. Hanna also said the Parliament should take a day or two and focus on the solutions to crime and put aside some of its usual issues, such as constituency debate and discussions on bills to be made into acts. She said many in the Parliament, including herself and the Prime Minister, were tired of the violence. The MP was speaking Tuesday in the House after Prime Minister Andrew Holness asked members of the House to stand and express their opposition to violence. This in the wake of the murder of 2 schoolboys in a triple murder in Salt Springs, St. James, Monday evening. She said no one group or individual was now safe from the violence, and there was an element of mental illness involved.
We are at a mental illness crossroads in this country. Never before am I witnessing the kinds of crimes, violent crimes, sick crimes, contract killings. It is almost a den of destruction that we're living in. We have a commission that is looking at some of the socio-economic, socio-cultural, mental health issues. It has Dr. Maureen Sams Vaughan, Dr. Herbert Gale. It is a bipartisan commission. You've established it. The committee needs to hurry up with its work.
MP for South East St. Anne, Lisa Hanna. Meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the country needed a new framework that may even require a separate ministry to deal with violence. He said the resources and structures existing would need to be assessed to determine what resources were necessary. The Prime Minister was speaking in Parliament Tuesday evening after several members raised different aspects of the problem of violence. Mr. Holness said what was clear was this was not just a police problem, and issues such as parenting and cultural practices also had to be considered.
Cannot rely wholly and solely on the police and the military to deal with the crime problem. The human element has to be treated with. These issues that have been raised regarding mental health and trauma, parenting, within the schools, corporal punishment, all of these are elements that we have to treat within our society. What it says, Madam Speaker, is that we are going to have a dedicated institutional framework to treat with violence in the national, and then the government will have to dedicate a budget and probably create an entire ministry to start now to coordinate all the state and civil activities, including, yes, to treat with this issue frontally of violence.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness. When a set of Hart NSTA trainees gather for their graduation in St. James tomorrow, Thursday, the occasion will represent the first of a series seeing more than 11,000 graduating as fit for the world. More in this report by Luann Bramwell.
The Heart NSTA Trust will continue its 41st anniversary celebrations with the graduation of more than 11,700 trainees from various programs over a 2-month period starting Thursday, November 9. The students have been trained at institutions such as the Hart College of Construction, the South and Northwest Tibet campuses, and the Jamaican German Automotive School. They will be certified in several areas, including digital animation, printing and graphics, as well as geomatic and geospatial service. The ceremony for Region 4 trainees, the first set in the series of graduations, will be held at West Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists in Mount Salem, St. James at 9 a.m. The ceremonies for Regions 2, 3, 1, 6, and 5 will be held on November 16, 23, and 30, and December 1 and 6, respectively. Managing Director of the Heart NSTA Trust, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, told JIS News that the ceremonies to be held are, quote, in response to the heightened demand for the injection of skilled labor and ready talent to supply the Jamaican workforce and drive the economy, end quote. Students from all 26 Heart institutions, as well as community training interventions and partnering entities across the 14 parishes, will graduate during the ceremonies. The theme is Retooled, Reskilled, Reimagined, Empowering Tomorrow's Workforce Today. Lou-Anne Bramwell-Shakes for NRP Break of Day News.
There is a new state-of-the-art production line at Pepsi Cola, Jamaica. The production line costs $30 million and is expected to increase the capacity of the company by more than 50%. This will enable Pepsi Jamaica to manufacture greater quantities of Pepsi and other brands in its basket, including Ting and Ginger Beer. The new production line was officially opened on Tuesday, November 7, by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Addressing the official opening ceremony at the company's plant on Spanish Town Road in Kingston, Prime Minister Holness said the new facility has created additional jobs, representing an approximately 20% increase in the entity's workforce. Mr. Holness said the new facility would increase Pepsi's production capacity by 60%. The Prime Minister said this would be a game changer for the company. General Manager for Pepsi Cola Jamaica, Alberto Ramirez, said that the production line was built in 8 months. You are listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com. Reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. This information package is brought to you by Suritsu Communications, connecting homes, connecting lives, connecting multiple platforms through convergence. Check them today by calling 876-333-1927 or 876-333-1926. Suritsu Communications, we are here to serve you better. Continuing the news now with the weather report and forecast as supplied by the National Meteorological Service. The National Meteorological Service of Jamaica is reporting that there is a significant feature of a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the island over the next few days. This morning, expect partly cloudy conditions across eastern parishes, but it will be mainly sunny elsewhere. This afternoon, expect isolated showers and possible thunderstorms, mainly across hilly areas and western parishes. In other current regional features, a stationary front is across western Cuba. That is our latest weather information inside the NRP Break of Day news package this morning. And now let's give you some sporting information brought to you by Suritsu Communications, connecting homes, connecting lives, connecting multiple platforms through convergence. Check them today by calling 876-333-1927 or 876-333-1926. Suritsu Communications. We are here to serve you better. And now for sports stories. Defending Manning Cup champions Jamaica College had a winning start in the quarterfinals of the Manning Cup that got underway Tuesday afternoon. JC beat Tivoli Gardens High 2-1. Kingston College KC were also winners on the day, getting by highly tutored St. Andrew Technical High 1-0. There were draws in the other two matches on the day. Hydel and St. George's played to a 1-1 stalemate, and Mona and St. Catherine High also ended 1-1. The quarters in the rural area DaCosta Cup competition get underway today, Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Reggae Boys' 21-man squad was named Tuesday for their friendly this weekend against Guatemala in New Jersey. There are 3 new faces in the Jamaica squad. That's sports in our Break of Day news package. We promise to bring you a good news story as often as we can. If you know of or are aware of any event or person whose good story we should highlight, please send this information to our email address at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com or call 876-336-9928. That's the local news, weather, and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
Tayyip Erdogan has voiced strong support for Hamas, a U.S.-designated terrorist group, in its war against Israel. But at the same time, analysts say Turkey remains a vital energy transit route for Israel.
During his visit to Ankara this month, Iranian Foreign Minister Hussein Amir Abdullahian called on countries delivering oil to Israel to cut their supplies in response to the Israeli assault on Gaza. Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan ignored the call. Analysts say because Turkey remains a key transit country for Israeli oil through the Turkish port of Ceyhan. Despite Erdogan ramping up his rhetoric against Israel and calling Hamas a liberation movement, the flow of oil through Turkey to Israel continues. Doreen Jones, VOA News, Istanbul.
The Israeli army says its forces are battling Hamas fighters inside Gaza's largest city, signaling a major new stage a month into a war that has claimed thousands of lives and leveled swaths of the territory. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is likely to maintain control of security in Gaza once Hamas is defeated. The move into Gaza City risks a further escalation in casualties 1 month into the war. 5 hostages of Hamas are free, offering some hope to the families of others snatched in southern Israel during the militants' deadly rampage on October 7th. The families of those still in captivity have questions, such as why progress has been slow and why some and not others are being released. Israel in late October announced its first hostage rescue, that of Army Private Ori Megish. Hamas had earlier released Judith and Natalie Renan, mother and daughter, and Yeshevet Lifshitz, 85, along with 79-year-old Nurit Cooper. Hamas said it would let the others go in return for thousands of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel, which has dismissed the offer. This is VOA News.
That was the international news from the Voice of America. Before we go, here are the headlines once again. Over 11,000 Hart NSDA students to graduate. Lisa Hanna says many grow weary of the same arguments over violence. Prime Minister Holness says the police force alone won't be able to deal with the violence in the country. Pepsi Jamaica opens new state-of-the-art plant that ups capacity by 60%. And in sports, defending Manning Cup champions Jamaica College had a winning start in the quarterfinals of the Manning Cup that got underway yesterday. The news today came to you courtesy of Suritsu Communications. Connecting homes, connecting lives, connecting multiple platforms through convergence. Check them today by calling 876-333-1927 or 876-333-1926. Suritsu Communications. We are here to serve you better. Join us again at 6:30 this evening for the Evening Roundup. I am Kimberly Ashley for NRP News.
NRP Media, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.